we're not going to waste any more time. Let's bring one of the most legendary rappers and entertainers ever to do it into the mix. He's an OG and one of the most influential voices for the culture. Everybody welcome Uncle Snoop. What's good? The legend in the building.
Hey.
Y'all looking good.
Mix, baby.
Yes. So you were on live on IG and posting your support for the Monica and Brandy verses. How do you think they did?
I think they did very well. I think just them getting together meant a lot to the culture as far as like all of the negative energy that was surrounded around their past and, you know, their careers. For them to be woman enough, to be classy enough, to be black enough, to be queen enough, to let that go and to celebrate each other and to really mean it and not to just be faking the funk, but to genuinely love each other. And you could feel that, and the music was necessary. We needed that. Those songs meant a lot to me and my wife and my babies. And, you know, so it's just, you know, it was an upliftment for the whole culture.
Yeah, you could tell that you were really enjoying it, man. I was watching you in the comments, boy. It was like you were a real concert.
Yeah, I wish they would have sung more in the mic, though. I wanted more.
Yeah.
Present what we love from them, which is their vocals, and they was doing it at the end of the songs. There's some songs they would do. I was like, you understand me? I want to see y'all.
Yeah.
You did?
Right. Yeah. So, Snoop, we know you are a big sports fan. So I want to know, how did you feel when the Milwaukee Bucks made the now historic decision to not even play in support of Jacob Blake and the protests happening in Kenosha, Wisconsin? And can you talk more about the impact that it's had for social justice?
Well, shout out to Colin Kaepernick first.
Yeah.
Shout out to Irving for walking away from the NBA season before it even got to the bubble. So when the players finally got to the point to where they felt like it was time to make a statement again, you know, Milwaukee Bucks, we got to give them a shout out because it happened in Milwaukee. For them to take the stand first meant the most. So the players are smart now. They show up, they understand, and they're able to communicate and talk and have meetings and dialogue, get understanding on how they can make this world better. And they know that their voice, it really matters. So I think that they're putting together a real plan to try to put some action into these things that's going wrong in these communities that they play basketball in.
With that being said, Snoop, I gotta ask you, what are your thoughts on the NBA resuming the playoffs? You think it was too soon, too late, or what's your outlook on that?
I don't really know about timing because, as you see, the black assaults and the brutality on us continues to happen, whether the season is back or not. But by the season being back, it gives them a chance to highlight, you know, and take these moments to use them as our, you know, weapons to get what we need. And I believe without that, we're just voiceless because we're just talking and we're trying to get people politically put in office. But some of these people got to earn our votes. And I'm just saying that, you know, I ain't never voted before. So you got to show me what I'm voting for and show me what I'm going to get.
Yeah, now you said some key facts in there because I'm the same way. Like I always tell people, my president is God, you know, but at the end of the day, we got to make a difference. This generation now, even the younger generation, we do got to make our voice not only be heard, but we got to show action. So I think the NBA players, what they did, I think they did it right. Like you said, they had to use their platform. So our voices are just more than just voices.
Yeah, I agree with both you guys, because do you guys remember when Laura Ingraham had said basically shut up and dribble to LeBron James? So I just love the fact that now they're using their voices, not just on the court, but off of the court as well, to be heard. So, you know, even though I felt it was a little too soon to bring back the playoffs, I do like the fact that, you know, on commercial breaks, I'm hearing a lot of things that pertain to social injustice.
Yeah. Hey, before we get to the next question, y'all, I got to ask my uncle something real quick. Who would be your top 5 celebrity basketball team?
Oh,
I need to lighten up. Like that. Who Uncle Snoop top 5 is?
Well, first, you know, I got to be in there. He understand.
Got Snoop, got a 6'2" guard. Okay.
Master P, because he's the first player to make it to the NBA, man. So I got.
We got Pops. That's a 6'5" PG right there.
Okay.
Then I'm going to the West Coast. I'm going to get game. I got to get game.
We got a big. This is a big team right now. Okay,
yeah, that's a squad.
Yeah.
I'm going to get Chris Brown.
Ooh, Chris Breezy.
Okay.
I got to get CB. Then my last pick, I'm gonna go to Atlanta. I'm gonna get 2 Chainz.
2 Chainz.
Period. Okay.
I'm not trying to hype it up, but this team in their primes may be able to work some against the Lakers. That's all I'm saying.
That game I will definitely tune into for sure.
Sure. Right.
I'm off the bench for you though, It's all good. I'm gonna be sitting man Lou Will.
Get it going. I need a break. When you see this.
But wait, who's performing at the halftime though? Who's performing at the halftime show?
Wow. We're gonna go with I like her. I want some R&B. I want her to
Okay.
I'm there.
We need to create a Snoop League. This man needs to be a PM.
Yeah, can you create this? Can we get this going? We need this during this quarantine.
I'm waiting on this.
Hey, Snoop, I'm gonna hit you after this. We got to do something. We about to create a little celebrity basketball real league. We got to do it.
I love it. Yes.
I like this energy. But okay, I'm gonna take it back to a little serious because I really want to know. I've been seeing these posts all over social media about people basically asking everyone to stop sharing videos of Black people being killed by the police. So I just want to go to Snoop and just say, like, what do you think about people kind of being anti-posting what's going on?
Well, for many years it was going on without cameras. So we basically pulled off of the real enemy, and they're being told, so they don't want nobody to continue to see how they get at them. But to me, it's like that's saving lives and it's showing exactly what we up against, and it's making our gripes real gripes. It's making these songs that we wrote 20 years ago make sense. It's making things and more people before us, they stood for it. Still, we still have to fight for that. When it was supposed to be equality, all men are created equally. We still 10% of a man, and we dealing with people who feel like they 90% of a man when it should be 50-50 or either whatever the numbers, it should be even because we all equal.
So Snoop, do you think that it's traumatizing for kids having these videos just circulating around on social media? Do you think it can be traumatizing for kids?
Do you think it's traumatizing for kids who actually see it in real life every day?
That part.
And so reality is that it is what it is. We're not shooting a movie. We're not saying action.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Somebody is there on the scene that's thankfully filming it. So you can see that this is abuse. And then you see, this is what I want to say. What about when you see the white side of the camera? When you see the exact same incident with a white person, the police officer, he can beat the police up, he can cuss him, he can fight him, and he gonna make it home, or he gonna make it to the station.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
What it is to be Black and what it is to be other.
And it's never too early, I think, to educate these kids, because Black boys and Black girls now growing up need to know, okay, when you get pulled over, you can't act like, a white kid would be able to and kind of fight back. You have to be as compliant as possible. So yeah, these videos are hard to watch, but like, it's necessary to educate these kids.
And at the end of the day,
was taught, when the police come, run. Shit, trying to talk and get an understanding and explain your side of the story. Nigga, when they pull up, bone out.
True. For real.
Because our era, we didn't talk to the police because they didn't talk to us, and there was no understanding that. It may have been a few officers that went to school with your mother or went to school with your uncles or knew somebody in your family, and you would get them that conversation. If they see you out there, they'd be like, man, what you doing out here on the streets? Your mama raised you better than that. And they give you that conversation. You'd be like, man, you're right. I'm going to stop one day. And then you roll out. But as far as like having a real dialogue with the police, when they came, it was to fuck up something. You was trying to get out their way.
Right.
Absolutely. To be honest, for Black people, I think that the biggest weapon that we have to fight racism and to put a spotlight on the unjust killings of Black men is through our cell phones, and putting this footage on social media. Could you imagine if we didn't have footage of Ahmaud Arbery being followed by 2 white men and then gunned down? And then, thank God that we had, someone taping, George Floyd being killed by the police officer and having his literally knee on his neck as he's screaming, "I can't breathe," which has started this incredible large movement, for change. So thank God that we have social media.
Don said a great point. The phone is a weapon right now, because now we finally expose this.
You got Jake. Where people like myself in the 80s, when I was a drug dealer, I had encounters with the police where they would beat us up and they would do certain things to us. So we naturally ran from them. So when I got to the point of being a rapper, started making songs about them, then I'm criticized by them. And now I'm looking at 2020 and looking at the exact same things happening. But now there's a visual picture to the world. Now they being called out, and it's making them have a conscience now. So the awareness that we're watching and that the world is watching, now it has to put a little bit of, I can't do too much of what.
Exactly. Like the officers in Kenosha who shot Jacob Blake, they didn't even have body cams on. It was in the budget, but they didn't even have them yet. They're not getting them until next year. So imagine if that neighbor hadn't have filmed them shooting Jacob Blake, unarmed black man, 7 times in the back. They would have definitely tried to change the narrative and change that story.
100%.
To the bed like they do us when we get shot. That's what y'all don't know. When we get shot, they take us to the ambulance and they take us to the hospital and they handcuff us. They don't let you be like a regular patient that's getting worked on. They like, nigga, lock this nigga up, even though he's in the over there, just lock his ass up. But the white guy, when he goes to the hospital, there's no cuffs. He's just being worked on and all that. But we gotta be cuffed while in a coma. Wow,
it's crazy.
Not equality there.
Well, Snoop, listen, on top of everything that's been happening in our community, you know, we just lost Black Panther himself, Mr. Chadwick Boseman, and it was a huge hit to the community. How big of a loss do you think this really is for the Black community?
A big loss, but everything happens for a reason. He inspired a lot of little kids to be Black Panther, passed away. So that's the blessing and the lesson is that kids that's hurt, they want to be him. I've seen a lot of images on Instagrams with babies like this, with his character laying on his back and they tears and crying. That's inspiration. I remember when we lost Marvin Gaye and we lost certain people as a kid, that inspired us to want to be the great ones. That's why our era came with so many greats, because we lost somebody that was great to us and it made us want to be great. That's one thing about this Black thing. When we lose a great, there's always going to be another great to come and do what he's
And I know in my school for Chadwick Boseman, my film teacher, when Black Panther first came out, made the comment of like, why is a Black superhero necessary? When me and my friends were talking about it in class. And so obviously that enraged us and we were kind of going back and forth, like, why wouldn't it be important? Why do Black children have to grow up seeing only white men can be the heroes? Why can't we have our own character? And he was kind of just passive about it. And so Chadwick Boseman really became that lighter under our butts during the school time to kind of really fight for, you know, equality, even in the little, you know, the little film class we were in. It was like, how can you not understand how important this Black movement is?
I think like what Snoop said, man, Chadwick life, he's going to be an inspiration forever. He's going to inspire the next, you know, and I always tell people, you got to make sure, what are you criticizing people about? People were making fun of his size, about his shape, his difference. And this man was fighting a battle that we had no clue about. So I think his strength showed people that this man was chasing his dreams while he was dying. How crazy is that? Chasing his dreams while he was dying.
Still going
inspiration.
Still pulling up on kids that was losing their life to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, to the Cancer Societies, and inspiring them and showing them love when they didn't even know he was going through the exact same thing they was going
through.
Wow.
So
that's a true superhero.
That is.
Exactly. Literally. Real life superhero.
Cares to his family as well.
Yes. So yesterday, Snoop, I saw that you posted for support of the California Racial Justice Act. And I learned from your post that Black men in California are 8 times more likely than white men to be incarcerated. So what do you want to see change about the system? And, you know, what would you like to see the governor do?
For one, you know, clean up the system, the police system, because they basically racial profiling. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of white officers going after Blacks and Latinos. It's not black officers or Latino officers arresting us, it's the white officers arresting because they have no connection. So that's why we saying that, for one, if you do make the change by bringing officers that are community-based, you know, I'm sure some people from the community that became police officers, how about putting them back in the community so that way we can have a community and not such a gap. But when you send in people who are afraid of black men, who think that they gotta pull their gun out, they gotta do this, or they're guilty, they're this or that, you know, then we up against the wall to begin with times two.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, no, that's 100% true. Well, listen, since you're everyone's Uncle Snoop, what advice do you have for our generation during this time?
I think my advice to y'all is just to keep doing what y'all doing. Y'all are so intelligent, and y'all got a different, you know, way to run the way we did. We ran with more violence and more just because we was fed up and we was tired. You guys have understanding, you got knowledge, you got ways of dealing with things, you got technology, you got content, you got communication, and you guys know how to work with each other. We had to learn to get to the page that y'all on right now. Like seeing all you beautiful people together, a whole lot to put us all together in my era because they brainwashed us to think that I'm better than you and you're better than him, but we trying to get to one goal. So keep doing what y'all doing, keep inspiring, and also study the greats before you to find out what what they couldn't do.
So before you sign us off, I want to tell Snoop this because you've been a part of my family, my life from the beginning. And I wanted to give you your roses, you know, while you're here. You are an icon, man. And even for me, like growing up, seeing, there's only one other person in the industry I seen make my dad smile, and it was Nipsey Hussle. And it's you. When my dad see you on TV, man, doing your thing, even the Corona commercial, we watching the NBA games, you go on the TV every time. My pop's smiling big. It's like, man, you're the only other person I've seen make this man smile like that. But that says a lot about your character. And I always appreciated you for giving my dad his roses while he was here too. So big shout out to you. Keep inspiring. You inspire so many. I don't care if the kid is 5 years old to 50 years old to 100 years old. Everybody know who Snoop Dogg is.
Yeah.
That's how you know God got even bigger plans for you. So I just wanted to let you know that while we was here. You definitely an icon, man.
Brother,
that's true.
So inspirational to my career because when he got me, you got to look at it like this. He had C, he had Silk, he had them as brothers, but he took me in as a brother. And I listened to him is what mattered, is that I listened to him. You feel what I'm saying? And I was hard-headed. I was more hard-headed than C and all of them, but I was able to listen to him. And when you listen to somebody who really care about you, that's giving you information and giving you guidance, you can go somewhere. So you're never too big for information and you're never too big to listen. That's the message.
Man.
That's dope.
Ooh, Jim.
That's dope. Yeah,
that gave me chills a little bit. I'm like,
that's all the gems
right there.
Can we get a Snoop book? Can we get a Snoop book?
Yeah, we need that.
Right.
Well, I wanted to thank you as well, Snoop, because you know my mom is Tammy Roman. You went to Poly with her, and when yeah, and you know when she had the spinoff show, Tammy Ever After, we ended up coming up to the compound because you were one of the celebrity guests, and I just saw you know how much respect that she had for you when you basically told her, you know, if you want to do a talk show, do that, you know. And I think that was the push that she needed to really leave the toxic reality show that she was on at the time. You know, it's different when you're hearing it from your peers. Like you basically told her you could do it. You don't have to box yourself in. And just to be a part of that moment, I really wanted to tell you thank you for that, because she left the show. She already planned on it, but you kind of gave her that push. So I wanted to tell you thank you.
Yeah, we went to school together. So when you have people that who seen you for who you are, and then you chance to become what you wanted to be, and then you could tell them, look, remember when I was like that, remember when you was like that, we got to be that, because that's what people love from us, to be able to tap into what we are and not trying to be who they want us to be.
Yes. Well, Snoop, I have to tell you that my mom is the biggest Snoop Dogg fan, and I got a chance to take her to see your play in Detroit, Redemption of a Dog. And we went backstage and we got to meet you, man. And when I tell you, were just the most humble, down to earth, like loving guy to her. And I understand why everybody calls you Uncle Snoop, because it's literally like you treated us like you were family and you ain't never met us a day in your life. And I also have to say, you let her smoke with you too. And man.
Last night, your mama.
What'd you say, Snoop?
Said your mama grown, man. Get out of here.
She grown. Like, look, she loved it too. She was high, bro. That weed was potent.
Welcome to the new generation talk show, baby.
Yes.
Have done such a great job with y'all. Me as a father, this is what I hope for my kids, to be able to see them, you know, go on and do great things like this and be sharp enough and smart enough to connect with other people who are just like them and in like minds and like spirits. So much success to y'all. I hope y'all get, you know what I'm saying, bigger and better for what y'all doing. Y'all doing great things right now with this content. You know, think about it, put it in the air. It could be bigger than this so y'all can make it big.
Yes, thank you. Well, we have got to take a break on that note. Thank you, Snoop, so much. Thank you for coming on the show. We obviously love you so much. We thank you for all the gems you just dropped on us. And we will be right back here on Fox Soul.